Yo, how we feeling? Yeah?
We out here.
We out here.
Hey.
Caliente is not only the name of the brand new single, but that's the weather that we've got outside. But give it up for Vikina in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
You know I had to bring the heat.
What's up? Yeah, come on now. Welcome.
You know I had to bring the heat. Ya tú sabes.
You did it like in a major way because it is 105 degrees outside right now. But glad that we're inside here. We're chilling out and we're getting to meet for the very first time. And it this before we started rolling, it feels like home. It feels like family. It feels like we were meant to have this conversation now. So
real
it's a pleasure to
recognize
meet you.
real.
Real recognize real. Damn it. Let's go. Let's go to the beginning because to the fans who know you, stepping on stage, crushing it on a massive reality TV show, but letting that just kind of be the platform to allow so many people to get to know your spirit and who you are and your music.
Yeah.
How did it start? Let's go back to the third grade.
No, you know what? It's funny because a lot of people recognize me from that reality show. Daddy Yankee was the executive producer. Nati Natasha, Olga Tañón were like judges, and people see that as like the beginning of my career, but my trajectory had like a 10-year rise just even to get there. And I was like approaching a point where I was like getting ready to quit and maybe just see music as a little bit more of a hobby.
Wow.
I was singing at like bars and clubs and places just to kind of like get my kicks.
Yeah, it was like your fix. It was something that was a passion of yours, but you kind of felt that the flame was
I think we all kind of have like these like expectations of like our timeline and our age and like and I always feared turning 30, and then once I turned 30 I realized like I'm the strongest, sexiest version of myself I've ever been. Smartest and like most capable. And it took that time of growing and actually becoming a woman with stories and lessons to share and a light worth shining and worth following that I finally got the opportunity of that reality show, and everything kind of just spiraled from there.
Hearing you explain that and knowing that it's a marathon and not a sprint, and that the timing, it's not something that you can force upon not only anyone else but yourself. Like, how important was it to stay true to who you were and to be along that path and truly believe that one day your star was going to shine ultra bright, and here we are, and it's just starting to shine ultra bright?
I think there's a couple levels to that answer for me. Staying true to myself and figuring out what I wanted my sound to be was a really difficult journey, because growing up in Miami I was surrounded by so much influence,
so many dope people.
Like I grew up listening to so much Latin music, like salsa, merengue, reggaeton and stuff, but then I also listened to pop and dance and R&B and hip hop, and like I think I always wanted to I never wanted to fit in a box that somebody else built. That always just felt so uncomfortable for me. I really wanted to create something new, and that's something that I think that we're accomplishing with my like Latin EDM.
You already done skipped to the other card.
Oh,
like
I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna get to that song in a little bit,
I'm sorry.
but I wrote down all those. But I wrote pop. There's Afro house. There's EDM. There's a vibe that is you. And it is so much you. So how important is it that you continue to stay who you are and watching the world just gravitate towards your sound?
I think that I've also released myself of a lot of pressure that I think we all put on ourselves as artists in the beginning. Like, I need a hit. I need that hit. I need it now. And I think I shift my brain to like, let me just figure out how I can sustain, because it's like what you said, it's a marathon, it's not a race. And I need to make a living, and I don't believe in luck anymore as much as I believe in like math and statistics. So if you just like, I went on a terrible date once where he took me axe throwing, and I have no hand-eye coordination. Like, and if I'm not like winning,
everyone's laughing behind the camera.
I'm not having fun. I'm not gonna have fun if I'm not winning. Like, if I'm competitive, I'm a sore loser. And I'm like trying, and I'm terrible at it. But at the end of the night, I just threw it like one more time, just fuck it.
Yeah, I'm with it. That's okay.
And I hit the bullseye. And and I'm like, oh, this guy's great. Like, this guy's great. I'm gonna go out with him again. Your mood all changes. And I think that was very representative of something that I think has stuck with me in my career. If I just keep throwing shots, and if I keep being proud of the music that I'm making, fitting a mold or fitting a playlist or fitting what other people are doing isn't gonna make me proud.
No. Well, not only that, it's not you. Vikina, what happened in that moment, as metaphorically, if we want to speak it to existence, is you weren't trying. You were just being yourself. You're just like, let me just throw this and see what happens.
See what happens.
And it happened. And how and I like to ask this question whenever I get to speak with songwriters and artists, is how cool is it to know that just you being you is what the fans are really just diving into, connecting to, and on this journey with you?
You know, it's a little frustrating sometimes because I spend thousands of dollars on music videos and on social media content and edits and animations and stuff. Like my album was very heavily animation influenced because I really want to kind of merge into the tech space and kind of like figure out how artists and technology can live combine for sure. But it's like consistently videos of me in my pajamas in a messy bun, talking
some sourdough bread.
You know what I'm saying? And talking smack that ends up resonating with people. So I think it's difficult sometimes as us artists to really like just unleash that safety blanket that we put of like the makeup and the styling and the curation,
glam and
the curating. And just being real, but consistently, that's what seems to resonate, you know, authenticity.
Let's take this conversation down, a curated, a glitz and glam, but it was authentically you, I would assume, is the glam when you performed for the opening ceremony of the FIFA Club World Cup.
That look was hard,
That look was diabolical. Yo, eight, you know what I'm saying? No crumbs, damn it, none whatsoever. How long did it take for that to go? Because I mean, the fit was fitting. Look it up, we'll superimpose somewhere a picture because it was a look. It was beautiful.
That look took about like 6 months to create. The costume designer for that is Carrie Underwood's official costume designer and stylist. So she put together not only my look, but the look of the dancers, the drummers, like the entire like 100-person production. It was very carefully thought out. The colors, the gold. I think they're trying to have this mean the new era of FIFA, right? With the FIFA clubs as being something that they've never done a World Cup for.
Yeah.
So they're calling it the new era of FIFA. They wanted the gold. Inter Miami was playing an Egyptian team.
Yeah.
So we really played into that like Egyptian culture with like the makeup and just like the gold usage, and then like the red and the blue kind of gave like carnival elements. I love fashion, so I was having a blast with this.
It was fire.
Yeah.
It was fire. And aside from the look, what did it mean to you to hit that stage, to be there, to put your stamp on this moment for the world?
I think it's something even bigger than what I ever dreamed of. Like, I think growing up in the U.S., we think like, oh, maybe one day I'll do the Super Bowl, but never in a million years did I think I'd be doing the World Cup.
Like the World Cup.
Like that's a global stage. So I think it was something that went far beyond my own dreams.
Yeah.
And let alone the fact that I was actually able to do it pregnant.
Yeah. You kept a little secret until we saw that on your social media.
Well, it was a thing with styling too, with the stylist and stuff. It was like kind of like a secret that I was keeping, and I kind of made sure that the outfit almost kind of like had some baggy pants elements, because I wasn't sure how much I would be showing, and I was like, okay, am I gonna be Rihanna? Like, am I gonna have like a Super Bowl Rihanna
Is this
moment?
Beyonce, what she did at the VMAs moment?
But it didn't feel right to do it in that moment. I wanted to just kind of like let that moment be what it was.
Yeah.
And then kind of like casually, like a week later, be like, oh yeah, by the way, remember when I did that? I did it pregnant. And it was really special because I think that, like we mentioned, our timelines and our expectations of how I thought the trajectory of my life would go. God kind of looks at those plans and he laughs.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm living all of these incredible victories simultaneously while I'm building a family, I think it just proves to me how capable I am. Yeah. And I really think it just adds to the message that I really want to give girls that are watching. Like, we are so much more capable than we even give ourselves credit for. And I feel ultra empowered. I think that was kind of like the cherry on top.
And I see the cherry a lot on your social media posts. Like, it's very it all makes sense. It really does. And I could see by the way that you're smiling and glowing and talking about that, becoming a new mom and growing your family. How important is it for you to, you kind of just mentioned that, to show other young women that it's very possible that you're continuing on to, crank out hits and to dance. I mean, you were just in Milan, you know what I'm saying, not too long ago, doing the same thing, moving on
I'm
stage.
touring. I'm seeing the world through music. I'm performing. I'm releasing music that I'm really proud of, and I'm still out here, being the best version of Vikina possible.
Heck yeah.
And Victoria is still able to, have her own her own life and her own little thing that she protects.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I think as just like a woman and a Latina, we have like all the pressures of like our parents, like, when are you gonna give me grandkids? And like, and I always thought, I'm like, wait, I need to do a couple things first.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of retraining my mind a little bit and realizing that the kind of mom I want to be is to show my child that you can do it all. Like, you don't have to pick, you don't have to take turns. And I might be speaking a little bit preemptively because I don't know how that'll change once he is here,
Yeah. But you have a tribe with you. You have a family with you. I have
a lot of
people,
support.
You have a lot of support. And it's important that we take this time right here, just in the room even, to talk about those people who have your back and will always have your back. What's that mean to you to have those folks, with you?
This industry is really rough, and it's it knocks you down constantly. And something that I realized a long time ago is that if I quit singing and I quit music tomorrow, the reality of my life and of my nucleus doesn't change. Like, my mom's still gonna love me. My boyfriend's still gonna be with me. My best friend's still gonna be my best friend. So the willingness that I have and the drive that I wake up with every day has to come from me.
Yeah.
Because
or it comes from the fur babies getting you out of bed at 8 a.m.
That's true.
Yeah, we're talking about wake
That's
up.
True. Wake up, we want to go outside. Yeah, for sure. That drive, and I think it's really important to have something that you protect and something that is yours and something that kind of like helps you detach.
Yes.
Like I tried dating artists in my lifetime, and I just always felt like this like incompatibility, even though like you would think that we were hyper compatible.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed disconnecting. I really enjoyed like the duality of life and like going home and making my sourdough and having my garden and having a really wholesome life apart from what is Vikina.
For sure.
I think that's how I protect my spirit.
Yeah,
little bit.
And it's very good for you to understand that and to know the difference of that and to be very cognizant of protecting your heart and who you forever will be. All right, let's circle this into. We're talking so much about you, and I love this.
Yeah.
But we gotta talk music, fam. Not too long ago, Caliente is the most recent single, and it very much is hot. It is feeling like summer. But
totally.
Your sound, and we kind of touched on it a little bit. Like I said, you already skipped over to car number 2, a long time ago. But
I'm sorry.
No, but I love it because that's just where the conversation has taken us. To have this single out, what does it mean to you to set the vibe right for the season?
So, like we mentioned, I explored a lot of my sound for a long time because I wanted to figure out like what was gonna identify me, and it took me a little while. It took me being on that reality singing competition to realize that what separated me from the other contestants was my showmanship, my ability to sing and dance and command a stage, which was chops that I learned by performing at bars and lounges.
Go ahead.
And I was like, I can't do that with reggaeton. Like, I have to commit to a sound that is like dance, but I wanted to make it Latin.
Okay.
And I never understood why wanting to make music in Spanish meant I had to be like hyper Latino. Why I had to fit into these boxes of like reggaeton or salsa or bachata or whatever. I always really enjoyed fusions. My first single as Vikina was a bachata, but it was mixed with trap.
Yeah.
Super strange, but it's like it's like a little cult classic within the bachata community, and like people like in Japan and Russia like send videos doing choreography, and it's so crazy. I don't identify as a bachatera.
Yeah.
I do identify as like an electronic dance pop artist.
For sure.
And I want to expand that and represent for Latinos within that community.
You know what I want to take away, not to cut you off, but what I think about when you just mentioned the different pockets of the world like Japan, like Russia, like, I mean, wherever you might get some sort of a ping alert, dang, they're listening to me in Malaysia.
Yeah.
How does that feel to know that your music is connecting on
It's
this global,
crazy.
where English or Spanish or, some other language isn't even their first, second, or third, but they're listening to the sound and catching the
I
vibe.
think when you hit that nail of authenticity and you do something that's new and refreshing and different and stands out,
Yep.
people pay attention. And what's cool is that like in places like Japan, like here we do karate, right?
Yeah.
Like you could like do karate or like martial arts, but like in Japan or in Russia or in Egypt, like they do Latin dance and they'll sit there and they'll play your song over and over again doing choreography. And that's like such a cool like culture shock
Yeah.
for me to realize. And they appreciate the music. So I didn't want to focus on that genre because I just didn't feel like it was true to me. What was true to me about that song was the fusion,
Yeah.
like the ability to kind of like hit something new. And that's what I'm really going after with this sound and with Caliente. After a couple years of being really strict sonically on being like EDM heavy dance, this song is like the first time that I'm kind of reintroducing so much Latin feel back in. So it's like house at its core and house at its like aesthetic, but it has like a dope Spanish guitar and it's like hyper Latino. It's very like Ibiza. It's giving like summer in Spain
100%.
vibes, and that's really nice because I feel like I'm kind of like returning a little bit back to my roots and taking stuff that I learned throughout my career and bringing it into dance music with this single. And Jerry Ropero is like a legend of Latin house.
Yeah.
Like you might not know his name, but he has like a huge single, a huge song that's like an evergreen record that has stood the test of like 25 years. That Hugo,
Yep.
another like giant now in
Massive.
Latin house, just did a 25-year anniversary release of, and I just DM'd him.
You slide into DM.
I slid into his DM.
And just like
I was
saying
like, hey,
thank you,
I
let's-
love this song.
yeah.
I would
What's
love
up?
to collaborate if
And
you're
that's how it
interested. And he actually responded. You know, it's math. I just shoot 10 DMs and one's gonna answer.
Something bound to happen. Yeah, right?
I
Okay.
really do live by that from that one night. That like kind of lesson really stuck with me. So
Yo, it's going down in the DM.
yeah,
Okay, all
you
right.
gotta use that blue check mark to your advantage.
I was gonna say
People are gonna reply to the girl with the blue check mark.
And then when they actually, do the research and understand that, I mean, not only are you a dope human, but creating a dope energy and a dope sound. Anybody would be a fool to not want to challenge themselves to, do something different, fun, but creative with another equally as talented creative.
And it's a good time right now, I think, for Latin house. It's like a movement that's growing. Last year, for the first time, it was recognized by the Latin Grammys,
Yeah.
which was something that was never recognized before as a genre. They always kind of like threw it into alternative music, but now they've given us like this space and this recognition to grow as a genre, like this, like validation that like, hey, you guys exist and
Yeah.
you're your own thing, you're your own ecosystem.
Let's manifest more than just a nomination.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we're gonna do it. Yeah.
This year maybe or next
When
year,
it's meant
whenever.
to happen, you know
when
what I
it's
mean?
meant to
Yeah,
happen.
when it's meant to happen, it will. As long as you continue to create, as long as you continue to abide by that math mentality, like you said, and to continue to put out dope music, it's
Totally.
going to happen.
It's gonna happen. It's a matter of when, not if.
There it is. As we put a bow on the conversation here, I do want to ask if these three things are true of Vikina, because I understand that you really love ChatGPT. So I decided to, so before I get into this, I want to ask, how deep are you diving into?
I call ChatGPT my child's other father. Because I always ask ChatGPT for permission on stuff that I can do. I'm like, am I allowed to eat this? Like, am I allowed to do this? Like, literally, I call it my child's other baby daddy. And I love technology.
Yeah.
And I think that the people that stick behind and are afraid of figuring out how to work it are the ones that are gonna,
Get left behind.
get left behind.
All right. Before I ask you this, there's one more question. Do you please and thank you to your Chat GPT or to your Amazon Alexa? Like, how do you operate? Do you like type?
No, I'm rude as shit. I don't think
like,
it.
just get it done for me.
You know what? I think I saw a message from like the CEO or like the founder of ChatGPT that says like, thank you for like being nice to the machine,
Yeah.
but like you're like frying our hard drives. Like
Just ask it to do the thing.
just saying please and thank you
Okay.
like takes so much energy. So from a sustainable
That's
standpoint,
funny.
I try to keep it
That's funny
to
as
a
hell.
minimum.
All right, are these? Well, I think that these three things that I just basically said, give me 3 fun facts about Vikina into ChatGPT, and I think that they are pretty much true. The first one, signed to Pitbull's label.
I am.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
call you Miss 305.
They call me
so-
Miss 305. I'm hoping that I think this year I finally graduated to worldwide.
Oh, okay.
I
All
think.
All right. Okay. The other one is we already discussed. A part of our conversation here is being a part of Reina de la Canción. I mean, you're a part of the massive reality TV show. But here's a question I want to extend on that: is what was that like to have that massive platform to showcase who you were, to share?
It was really intimidating.
Yeah.
You know, the inherent pressure that comes out of a competition, and especially one with girls.
Yeah.
I'm a girl's girl, so I want to be friends with everybody and I want to be besties. But at the end of the day, it's a competition.
Okay.
So it was like a little bit of like a mind game in
Gotcha.
in that, right? And I came in identifying as like an urban music artist.
Yeah.
And the experience not only gave me an amazing platform and new fans and new exposure and people that still remember me from that, but I learned a lot about myself and really what set me apart from the other contestants.
Okay. All right. This is the final thing. I want to make sure it's right. Born to Cuban and Ecuadorian parents.
Yeah, actually, that kind of stems off of what I was going to kind of continue saying about that experience is everybody had like their flag.
Yeah.
Everybody had their country that they represented, like whether they came from Bolivia or they came from Mexico or they were Cuban and like they were like the Cuban girl. But like I have like 3 flags. It's really heavy, you know? It's like too many flags to carry. So I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna rep anything, it's what's true to me, which is Miami. Yeah. And somebody that I've idolized my whole life for the way that they represent Miami is Pitbull. Yeah. Pitbull and even like Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine and what they did with that renaissance of like disco mixed with Latin.
Yes,
I
wow.
think it's like very parallel to the sound.
Renaissance now that
the
you're...
Renaissance now that we're a part of. So the mere fact that both of those individuals just know I exist now is like
They know more than you exist. Like, you know what I'm saying?
they're helping me.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh,
wild.
like, I know you have this, like, it's not Pitbull in your phone, is it?
Yeah.
It's his government name, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, we all know he's got it embroidered on the back of his collars on his shirts. We see you, bruh. You doing the right thing, man. But no, it's really special that you are receiving your flowers for being who you are, for doing what you feel is right in your heart. And we mentioned this several times in the conversation. The world is on notice because you're staying so true to that authenticity. And,
Yeah.
you know, as long as you continue to do that.
If I had $1 for every time growing up in my career, people were like, yo, Vicky, you gotta move out of Miami. You gotta move to New York. You gotta move to LA. Nothing's gonna happen with your career unless you like go out. And I was like, nah, I'm a bet on my city. Like I'm a bet on where I was from, and I have faith and I believe in what we can grow out of Miami, and that has actually inevitably now worked in my favor because now I really do wholeheartedly get to rep my city, and nobody can ever question that.
Yeah.
Nobody can ever question that, and I really want to continue to build that legacy and be a part of the legacy that people like Pitt and Gloria and Emilio have started.
Yeah.
I just want to continue it.
There's only one way to wrap up this conversation. Dale.
Dale!
Give it up for Mr. 305. This is Vikina in the building, y'all.